What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. I want to continue to examine 100 years of world championship fights. I decided to go into 1960. But in order for me to continue with 1960, I have to drop back down to 1950 for three fighters. The reason why I have to do that is because those fighters made a tremendous impact in 1960. So in order for us to understand their impact of 1960, we have to go back to 1950 for a fight or two to find out how they made it to that point. So Joey Giardello, who's to your right, and Billy Graham is to your left. They would face each other twice. First time they met one another was on August 4th, 1952. It was at the Eastern Parkway Arena in Brooklyn, New York. The referee was Barney Felix. Now, Joey Giardello was from Brooklyn, New York, and Billy Graham was from New York. Now, here's the issue. Fight was being held in Brooklyn, New York. Joey Giardello, who was born in Brooklyn, New York, but he left New York and he moved to Philadelphia. Now, he passed through Cherry Hill, which is in New Jersey. But he had the heart and soul and spirit of a Philadelphia fighter. But he also had the culture of a New Yorker, Brooklyn to be exact. So you had 3,000 spectators in that audience. But Joey Giardello was a 4-1 underdog. Because he moved to Philadelphia, he wasn't really considered at that point a New York fighter in the eyes of those spectators. So it was drawing somewhat of a rivalry / controversial situation with these two men. Now, Billy Graham had a trainer who was actually his manager, and his name was Irvin Cohen, and he filed a complaint with the commissioner's office. Why did he do that? Because Billy Graham had faced Tony Pallone. He was also in the ring with Kid Gavilan. Those were his two losses. He would meet Joey Giardello, and that would be another loss. And the referee that refereed those three fights was the same guy. His name was Barney Felix. And Barney Felix always had Billy Graham very low. In this fight, he had him 3-6. Almost as though Billy Graham wasn't in the arena that night. And he felt as though somebody had it out for him. He had 102 fights. He was born in 1922. He was 18 years of age when he started fighting. He won up until 59 fights, and he had his loss with Tony Pallone. Now, when he fought Kid Gavilan had faced Johnny Bratton after he defeated Billy Graham, which Billy Graham believed he won that fight. And when Kid Gavilan defeated Johnny Bratton, he became the welterweight champion of the world, the NBA version of it. Because Johnny Bratton defeated Charlie Fusari, who was Ray Robinson's last welterweight title defense. And when Ray Robinson vacated his title, Charlie Fusari had faced Johnny Bratton. And he lost to Johnny Bratton, so Johnny Bratton would now become the NBA welterweight champion. Well, Billy Graham was supposed to have gotten a shot with both Charlie Fusari and Johnny Bratton. So by the time he got his chance was against Kid Gavilan. And he didn't get the nod with Gavilan, and the referee was Barney Felix. So he felt he was railroaded plenty of times. And when he fought Joey Giardello, he thought the same. Because he felt as though the referee Barney Felix didn't let him fight his fight. Felt he didn't allow him to use his right hand enough. He felt he didn't allow him to work on the inside. So Joey Giardello would get the victory. Joey Giardello, I knew personally, and it's alleged, I want that clear. It's alleged that he hit a man, a gas station attendee. From my understanding, it could be different versions and stories of what happened. But apparently Joey Giardello had asked the gas station attendee for, let's say, for example, a half a tank of gas. And the gas station attendee felt he heard him say, fill it up. Just throwing something out there. And when it was time for Joey Giardello to pay, he wasn't going to pay for a full tank of gas, when he asked for a half a tank of gas. These are all scenarios. And things got heated, and Joey Giardello allegedly hit the man, and he was arrested. Well, because he was arrested, he didn't get an opportunity to face Carmen Basilio. Now, Billy Graham, similar issue with him. Teddy Brenner, who was the matchmaker at that time, was going to book a fight at that same arena. It's called the Broadway Arena. And he had a date set for August 20th, 1952. And it didn't happen because of the circumstance. So they were going to have a rematch August 25th, 1952. And Carmen Basilio was scheduled to fight that night. And he kept the fight as planned. So it was a controversial situation with Joey Giardello. Joey Giardello filed a lawsuit. His family filed a lawsuit against the Hurricane movie with the actor Denzel Washington. Now, they didn't sue Denzel Washington. Washington is like, this is the script. This is what I'm playing. I have nothing to do with this. They claimed as though Hurricane Carter had beat Joey Giardello and had him all over the ring, all across the ropes, and beating him half to death. And when they showed the film, it didn't show that happened. So there was a lawsuit filed, and Joey Giardello's family had won the case. I met Joey Giardello several times. He used to hang out in G&S. It was a store for Houston Street in New York. And a lot of fighters hung out there. I used to see him in the gyms. He was pretty close to Buddy McGirt and his trainer, Al Certo. So I got to meet him. Very nice man. R.I.P. to him. Very nice man was Joey Giardello. But he was a hell of a fighter, man. He was in there with Gil Turner. That was another one that had to happen because Gil Turner was originally from Philadelphia. Joey Giardello was not. So they had that similar situation going on. Who was the real and true Philadelphia fighter? Gil Turner was a welterweight, and Joey Giardello was a middleweight. And Gil Turner started fighting middleweights. That was some fight. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention as we move forward because Joey Giardello would wind up becoming a middleweight champion. And he would lose his crown to Dick Tiger. Another good fight. Joey Giardello was in some good ones, man. Amazing. Now, these two men would meet up once again. December 19th, 1952. This time they were facing each other in New York's Madison Square Garden. And Joey Giardello weighed 152 pounds and Billy Graham was 149. Now, the issue with this fight, and once again, it was controversy to Billy Graham and his camp. They couldn't understand why they always felt themselves in these situations. Now, you had about 3,228 spectators in the audience, and most of these spectators were rooting for Billy Graham. Once again, Billy Graham was a New York fighter, and Joey Giardello was considered a Philadelphia fighter at this point in his life. And he was a Philadelphia fighter, but he was originally from New York. Now, what was crazy, Joey Giardello was given the victory by the New York State Commissioners. But Billy Graham was given a decision. And he wound up winning the fight. But Joey Giardello filed a lawsuit. And they reversed the decision. And they would give it back to Joey Giardello. And immediately the IBC would announce that Joey Giardello would fight Rocky Castellani. It was signed at Madison Square Garden, January 9th. And it wound up never fighting. And so Billy Graham always felt as though there was something against him. Just unfortunate. But Joey Giardello would wind up becoming a middleweight champion, and he would fight this really, really big fight with Dick Tiger. And that's why I wanted to set that up. So when we get to that fight. So these two men, shout out to both of them. Very good fighters. I met both of them. It's just one of them things. Just unfortunate. And Joey Giardello threw a beautiful left hook. He's to your right. Billy Graham is to your left. Billy Graham has dark trunks and Joey Giardello has white trunks. Beautiful counter right hand by Joey Giardello.
Joey Giardello in white trunks, Billy Graham in black. It's been a fast pace, but you'll notice Billy, 8 years older, isn't trying to slow it down. His game, speed. A fast fight doesn't worry him.
Oh, beautiful right hand by Joey Giardello and a hook to follow. Very nice. Billy Graham holds his hands up very nicely as a true professional he is. Good jab by Billy Graham.
This guy is right out of an old-fashioned lesson in how to fight.
Now, if you notice with Joey Giardello, he's always touching his opponent. Oh, very nice hand. Beautiful right hand. Oh, beautiful combination by Billy Graham. Like you're looking at two true professionals.
Worried about that. He sat in the dressing room, talked about the Dodgers pitching staff for next year. That's the biggest worry of his life, a real fan.
Nice hook thrown by Billy Graham.
Joey is holding off Graham's right on the inside. A lot better now.
Good body punch by Graham.
They don't have a deep breath in them. It's a beautiful feeling to be in condition like this. You're glad for every morning you got up to do road work. Now, still fighting for a chance to try for the middleweight title and all the money that goes with it.
Good hook.
Graham doesn't
Both
just
men.
flick that left out and hope it lands. He nods that head and fakes Giardello in, then snaps it into his face.
Oh, a nice jab by Billy Graham.
Joey has been making a smart fight. He hasn't let Graham abuse him inside. He's been staying at that distance and using those fast hands of his. This fight is going right down to the final wire.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful left hand thrown by Joey Giardello. He's catching Graham with that all night.
Sometimes you'll find Billy dropping that left hand after he jabs with it. But he's so fast, it's hard to take advantage of it.
Oh, beautiful left hand once again. Oh, nice right hand by Billy Graham.
Both of them have their right hands high and close to their sides, the way they should. They're they're not careless in carrying it low or wide, the way too many fighters do in the late rounds. Decision to make. I think Graham pulled it out. Let's see. No, they gave it to Giardello. But something's happening at ringside. Commissioner Christenberry is talking about changing the decision. That's just what he's doing. He's going to give it to Graham.